Assalamu alaikum. Long time no see. We're live. Boom. خدا کنه همه خوب باشه. Hope everyone is doing well. I'm very excited for this episode. It's pretty crazy. One of my all-time favorite topics. Conspiracies against humankind. Or for some elites in that case. So this is going to be a good one. We'll try to make it as fun and creative and brief. Because as we talked about, and the way I mentioned, it's the art of conspiracies. So even conspiring is an art in itself. It's not that we are actually conspiracy theorists. No, it's just interesting to know every side of the story, be it conspiracy or not. So we're just gonna go not really in full detail about each and every conspiracy there in the world, but something that actually relates to us, to Afghanistan, and the politics surrounding it, and the impact of the outside politics on Afghanistan and Afghan people. So yeah, so I'm just waiting for my guest today, محترمه خانم Saifi, and hopefully Qais will make it as well. As you know, Qais has been my bandmate to District Unknown, and all right, here we go. So we have Meena John on. It's going to be a good one. Salam alaikum.
Salam. Hello.
How are you? چطور هستین?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very excited.
Thank
How is family? How are kids? How is work?
Good, good. You know, I don't have a stand, so I'm holding my phone right now.
Oh,
Because I have
I'm
a
sorry.
cat. You know, the cat is kind of like,
Okay.
come and yeah, jump around. How are you?
That's all right. I'm very well. Thank you very much. First of all, thank you very much for coming on. It's an
Thank you
honor.
for having me.
It's a privilege for us. Your insight with everything which is going on around the world, especially Afghanistan, it's very interesting. It's very creative, and this is something which I actually look into most of the time. So this is going to be a really good one. I hope that Shah Nashi, that
No,
you're
I'm
holding
good.
your
Don't
phone.
worry.
You good? All right.
I'm good. Well,
All
thank
right.
you so much for having me. I know my voice is something right now, and this situation that majority of media will not allow me to speak. So I'm happy. At least you let me. Thank you so much.
It's as I said, it's our pleasure, because look, we're not any sort of media outlet, right? I'm not any activist, okay? I don't stand with anyone in particular. No,
Thank
I just
you.
stand
Same.
with our people, you know?
Thank you.
So every voice counts.
Exactly.
You know, Shamam, Afghanistan, I'm Afghan as well, and there are a lot of us out there with different perspectives and views and opinions. So what I try to do is just bring everyone on, well, who accepts it, because I'm not big in that case. But I like to bring them on. I like to talk with them. I like to learn from them. I like to put my own opinions. I like to spread the word as much as I can. And then the people, the rest of our beautiful Afghans around the world, they can just decide on their own what they want to believe and what they don't want to, you know, what they want to support or not. So without any further ado, we're going to just jump in right quickly into our rapid fire, right?
Sure.
So if you don't know about me, my name is Lamar, because we have spoken briefly before this. We had a very small project in Afghanistan called District Unknown. That was the first heavy metal or extreme genre of music band in Afghanistan. Me, my cousin Qais, and Qasim, and Pedron, we actually established the band, and then it started a movement, you know, a creative movement. It just started among the people, not just music, but in any art form. So we started this thing. We started this podcast under the banner of Rock Kabul. for us, it was still the same thing, to motivate the young people through
Absolutely.
our stories, to inspire them, to tell them that we've been through a lot of hard times and tough times, and we've fought through it. And you can do the same. Times might look that it has changed, but it never does. It's
Mm-hmm.
just keep going on. It's a circle. It's
Yeah, exactly.
just that
No, I've seen you guys
circle.
stuff. Honestly, proud of you. Good job. Especially at that time, you did something completely different. And I love magical realism, something that's like different in society, something that completely brings something new in the country and open up more of like thoughts and, think outside of the box and all that. So you did something really
That's it.
good. Good job.
That's it. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. All right. So a little bit about you. I've got a couple of questions that I'm just going to shoot at you, and you
Go ahead.
can answer that as quickly the first thing that comes onto your mind. All right. So we're good. You
Yep.
ready?
Yep. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. So one historical figure that you would love to meet and ask one thing, who would that be?
Um, I can say Nikola Tesla.
Tesla. Wow. Okay. All right. I love
Yeah.
that. Why? And what would you ask him?
I would ask him more the secret behind the three numbers he gave to the people, 369.
369. All right. Okay.
That's the secret. He basically said whoever will understand 369 will understand the law of universe.
Wow. Beautiful. All right. See, we all learn. We all learn.
Something.
This,
Oh my God. Yes, definitely. Nikola Tesla.
this just started with a boom. Beautiful. All right. So if you had to choose between two choices, losing your senses forever or losing your memory, which one would you choose?
Memory.
Memory. Okay, why is that? You want to make new ones or
No,
or
because
what?
memory you can make a new one, but senses are
Mhm.
powerful. You can
Okay,
live in the
and
society that we are right now without senses. And what's going on right now, it's a lot, the psychological war of attack being on our senses. So senses are the most powerful ability as a human.
all right. So I love that answer, but we will come back to that through our
Good.
discussions. All right. Okay. So third thing, what do you believe? Should there be a one world order, or there should be each man for himself?
Each man for himself, free man world.
Each man for himself, a free man world. All right.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Your favorite food, Afghan, favorite Afghan food that you could eat for the rest of your life.
This is gonna be funny. I love to eat bean and rice. Amre salata
Wow, okay.
forever.
Man, I swear to God, that's my all-time favorite food as well.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah, yeah.
Good bean.
Exactly. You by beans you mean the red kidney beans, right?
Yes,
Lubia.
Afghania. I mean,
A
lubia
bit,
khurma.
a bit saucy, a bit
Yes,
liquid.
yes, yum. And like
That's
I'm gonna
good.
take chalao خوبش like salate mazadar. Oh my God, that's
I'm more chicken. Yeah. Now I need to have some. You know what? On that, I was in Turkey, right?
okay.
And my friends, we had a bit of Saturday night sesh. Had some drinks to go with, and then we were hungry. So in Turkey, it's very big that at the end of the night you go and eat because restaurants are open, right, for that
Mm-hmm.
middle of the night thing. So you can get soups and you can get all these kebabs and whatnot. So we went to eat something, and I told them that order me something which is very typical of Turkey. What you guys eat, all right?
Yes.
And and they ordered me lubia or chalao, and I was like, "Are you serious, man?" I was like, "We make this on a daily basis, man. What are you talking about?"
Well,
It
lucky
wasn't as
you.
good though. I know it wasn't as good though because the salad wasn't there. The
Oh, the salad
salad
is the best part. Yeah,
has
salata.
to be there.
Yeah.
Has to be there. All right. Okay. So this started very well, but maybe last one at this rapid fire. If you had a choice to be born somewhere else but Afghanistan, what would your choice be?
Honestly, I don't know. Good question. Because I believe
It's
like
good.
no matter where you're born, it's just all the same.
Wow. Okay.
It's all the
All right.
same because it's the same planet. The the real reason should be where you're gonna find more awareness,
Fair enough.
which is gonna be
Okay.
a rebirth of us as a human, as all your
Right.
senses, all your conscience. So I believe wherever that I'm gonna be more aware, that I'm gonna gain more wisdom, that's where be my choice of country. Let's say Egypt.
Egypt. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Ah, the
Between
cabal. Hey. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Okay.
you
We
got
will go into that.
it. You
We will
got
go into that.
it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I love that. I
Oh
love
my
that.
God,
Okay.
so much.
Okay.
Those architectures.
Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah.
if a kid was born there and no things maybe had those senses, all those architecture, everything there is all like a school. You can just stare at
Yeah.
them and just your brain can figure it out because everything is in your DNA already, you know?
Embedded. Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Okay. 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 Wow. Beautiful.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
Last one. Education. Education or awareness?
Awareness.
Awareness. I somehow knew that you would say awareness. Okay. That's good. That's good. Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
John, it was actually a very rapid fire, hot round, and I love it. Thank you very much for your answers. That let us know quickly that where do we stand right now. Okay, so for now, and I have to say sorry for the people who are watching. Thank you very much. Most of them are, I'm pretty sure, your friends, and
Hi,
some are mine.
everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Um, I'm just going to turn off the comments. I will leave the question
Audience.
ones open. So, because we're going to go deep and some people might can't really be patient. So, we'll just do that. All right.
All right. Let's do it.
So, Muhtarama Saifi. Is
بفرمایید.
that all right? Okay. Okay. So,
بفرمایید.
tell us something very quickly, very brief about you. Where do you come from?
Um,
What do you do?
well, I was born in Kabul and then we flew to Pakistan. I was raised as a refugee in Pakistan and then I came to US around like almost 10 years ago. So ever since I've been in US and just trying to figure things out, make life, as if like when you go to a completely new place that you don't know the language, nothing. It's like you're starting all over again. So this past 10 years, that's all I did. It's constant learning. Every day is learning.
Beautiful. So in Pakistan, did you do your education there as well?
Yes, I finished my school there and I also went to university. But then it was just the first year that I had to come here in US. I left everything behind. But I took some classes of art there in Markaz Farhangi, Iran. I don't know if you heard, it was in Sadr Peshawar. So it was good. It was really great. And then I came here, and ever since I've been painting, creating, painting, whatever I'm going through.
Beautiful. Because I know I have lived in Pakistan for I think 6 or 7 years. Peshawar actually.
Yes.
And I think at that same time you were in the area that I used to live. We were in the same area for
Yeah, it's crazy,
years.
huh?
Yeah, I know. It's just weird. So knowing about the US culture or the North American culture, right? We could find it everywhere, especially at that time.
Yeah.
Be it from the TV, the radio, the people, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
You can find it from everywhere. But having that, what was the first cultural shock when you came to US?
The very first culture shock was I noticed there's no such thing as manner.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was like using those not beautiful words in every sentence and every kind of emotion they were feeling, whether they're sad, whether they're happy, whether they're excitement. So it was a very big culture shock to me. And then how people are so open about it. And
Mhm.
they'll just say sorry and that's okay and it's all done. But again, it's the same repeat. Yeah, that was the main thing. And from the society I grew up, you know, we used to be very careful. What are we gonna say, or which terminology are we gonna use, or what tone? Yeah, this was the biggest shock.
Well, I can understand because when I came to Australia, that was actually, even though I thought that I knew the culture, most of it, but there were some things that I could hear from the people that I used to work with because I worked with hospitality, and
Mhm.
hospitality, they call it the the pirate culture,
Yeah,
okay? Because they speak in slang,
very. Yeah,
there are no politeness and
no, no,
this and
none.
that. So I used to hear things and I would be in shock because I remember one of our female colleagues, she was very upset about this customer, and she was a manager. So she came back at the back of the house and she said, I just told him to suck my D. And I was shocked. I was like, how can that doesn't make sense? That doesn't
Oh,
even
I've
make
been
sense.
there.
How can you say
I've been
that?
there. I've
You
been
know?
there so many times. Oh my God.
Yes. So all those weird things. Where did you get inspired to paint? Was it in Pakistan or did it actually flourish when you came to US?
No, it was when I was 5 years old. I That was my
Wow.
passion. I would just grab paints and I'll just paint and paint and paint and draw and honestly, like when I think of it, you know, growing up as a refugee, especially what we all went through, like my dad couldn't provide enough money to buy us Barbies and all that. So as a kid, I wanted to play with things, and then I started creating things for me,
Wow.
for my siblings, and we would just play. So that started took me to like I want to make a face for this doll. I don't like it. I have to perfect this. I have to make a perfect eyebrow, perfect eyes, and so slowly that lead me. Just I enjoy that become my basically playground. Colors and canvases and pages on books on anything. You'd find me just painting. So that
Wow.
was, go ahead.
Yes, so you would actually agree because you were a living example of that. In Afghanistan, we have this very famous proverb that "Zarurat madar ijad ast,"
Vale.
right? So you actually live through
I
that.
lived it, yeah. And I remember we were living in a very good place, very good city in Islamabad that they're surrounded
Oh,
of.
the elite! Whoa, whoa, the elite. Okay, stop showing off now. Okay,
No,
all right.
but it's just anyway. So these people were like very rich around us, right? And the kids would just throw away trash, their like leftover crayons or the color pencils broken and all that. And honestly, I would just go to find those from trash cans and come home, wash it, and just paint because I need it. Every time I think about it, I'm like, that when I see that child, I see the passion in it. I
Beautiful.
just figured out. I figured out find my own colors. And you know, we had this sense of understanding even when we were so young when it comes to about family and financial system and all that. I knew, you know, I'm not going to go beg my dad or make him feel bad. So I have to figure it out. And that's how I figured out. I saw that these people were just trashing. They had so much. And I'll just go and
See how beautiful that is, as we spoke earlier about something being coded in our DNA, right? I think that whole sense of understanding your
mm-hmm,
family situation, be it financial or however,
mm-hmm,
I I think that runs down from your parents actually as well.
mm-hmm,
How they bring you up.
mm-hmm,
How do they bring you up as a child or as a human who is understanding, or someone who is just stubborn and just wants something for no
mm-hmm.
good reason? You know what I mean? So I will give more credit to your parents,
Thank you. Yeah,
and
they did.
I'm pretty sure you will. Agree with that. Beautiful. So having this pure natural instinct for art, for creativity, right? What was something that you, as maybe in a positive or negative manner, impacted on your art? Was there anything like that?
Your voice cut it out. I couldn't understand the last
Sorry.
part.
So when you came to US, did the environment actually impacted on your art, be it as in a good way or in a bad way? Did it have any impact on your art?
Oh, big time, big time. I think when I first came to US, I started painting more like my people. I was
Oh,
all into it because I was missing home. And then
of
plus I
course.
came here all by myself. I didn't have family, nothing.
Wow.
So I was just creating my home. Everything that I would see is missing there. I'll go back to my colors and paint, and that would just satisfy me. You know, there was a big, completely big life change of lifestyle, completely. But at the same time, you know, the biggest impact is that I gone through another darkness, which I believe darkness is very powerful. So it helped me drive into me again. Forget about
Right.
home. Forget about where I am. I went back in me. I traveled back in me. And that's where my art completely changed out of a sudden.
Okay. So would you like to elaborate a bit more into how, do you mean like you found yourself? You looked
Yes,
into
I feel like,
yourself, into your
yeah,
soul?
I feel like, you know, have you ever heard of this saying that for a tree, in order to go all up to the heaven, the roots have to go down to the hell first?
Exactly. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, it was that kind of experience when I first came here as an artist. First, you have to find a job. You know, you have to struggle. And the jobs, I used to make good money, I had a good job in Peshawar. When I came here, I had to start cleaning toilets.
Of course.
I had to work in a restaurant. I had to hustle.
As we all did. As we
Exactly.
all did. Yeah.
So psychological, spiritually, physically, everything was impacted by it. And then
Absolutely.
again, when you don't feel home, that was another. So for me, what had happened is I start thinking. I start thinking. I start I wanted to make sense of things, but nothing was making sense. So I went through that darkest journey. And then one day I arise. And that's the day when I painted my one of my very famous piece. It's called Man. And that's how my work started having words of man. I started writing man. Man. Man na manam na man manam. It's like an infinity.
Wow. Yep.
You
Yep.
just
Yep. Yep.
drive into yourself.
Beautiful.
So it's a biggest impact, obviously. Big time. I needed that as an artist.
So yes.
Journeys and experiences are one of the most powerful and strongest color or pen for a writer, a poet, or an artist. If you sit in your home, in your comfort zone, nothing will move. Not you won't even feel things. So I love it. I love changes. I love journeys and experiences because it shaped me who I am. It gave me more colors to paint.
Of course. Of course. So when we talk about you missing home, was that the environment of your private personal space back in Pakistan, or your own family? Or is it just in a general sense of home, where our people, our culture, be it in that sense?
Um, you know, even when I was in Peshawar or in Pakistan, I was just different.
Yeah.
I was more of a very outspoken person. I was more of me. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I missed me. You know, I fought
Yeah.
to be who I am. I started creating things that was against society, and I was doing things that was against society, against families,
Yeah.
against this,
Yeah.
against that. So I
Yeah.
shaped that me, and then back again, I was in a zero place in America where I have
Was
to.
it zero because you did find a lot of people maybe having the traits as you did? When you were back there, you were considered a rebel, right?
Yeah, but
But now you came to US
even
and
here.
all those, or you were still outcasted.
Oh, yes. No, but when I came here, I even found people are not free here. So the
Free.
sense that
Mhm.
freedom that why I'm speaking through my artwork is not the freedom that is based on how you're gonna dress up. For example, as a woman, you
Yep,
can be completely covered or completely naked, but you cannot be free because freedom is something is a mental state.
yep, yep.
So I had a sense of me back in Pakistan, Peshawar, and then I
Mhm.
came suddenly to US, and I'm again somewhere that I don't know nothing, and I can't be that sense of me because I need to learn first. I need to know things first, right? So I had to go through that struggle again.
Beautiful. Yep, understandable. Actually, very understandable when it comes to the psychological freedom or the mental freedom or the ability to think freely outside the box, as
Exactly.
you mentioned earlier. There are confined, maybe small, maybe bigger boxes, depending on where you are on Earth. So for some people, let's just say US might look like a place where there is freedom for everything,
Mm-mm.
but there is still confined
No, there's
borders
no
where you can't
freedom.
really think
Exactly.
outside that. Would you actually think that having a country which is not really, or maybe let's just say, being in Afghanistan, there is more freedom of being free from with your mind to think freely, maybe not in actions, right? Think freely. Then you are in US or Europe. Would you agree with that?
Uh, you know, I never lived in Afghanistan.
Oh yeah,
So speaking
yeah.
of Pakistan, I
Mhm,
think we were more free when it comes to psychological,
mhm.
a lot of, psychological issues, a lot of problems than here.
Yeah,
Here, I notice people have no freedom at all. Okay, just by saying I want to go drink is not freedom,
of
right?
course,
Just by saying, oh my God,
of
I
course.
get to smoke weed or
Yep,
any other
yep,
kind of, it's not
yep,
freedom, obviously.
yep,
So
yep.
it's this freedom here. I found it as an illusion, like being liberal or
Hmm.
Democrat or that
Hmm.
idea of it. I see things as like boxes. So if you want to be supportive of Democrat, you are living inside of that box,
Yep,
and that
yeah,
box comes with good quality and bad
that
quality.
way.
Okay.
What is keeping them in this box? Like which powers outside, regardless of the political beliefs, right?
Yeah.
Which powers from outside is kind of taking over their minds, which is not that powerful if you go to so-called third world countries. What do you think? What is the biggest?
The biggest is two things: TV, education system. And it's
The
funny
media and education.
because of knowing all this, I have to address this that first of all, in our culture, because I know how my people are going through, how it feels, what are they going through right now. Everyone is so like trapped in their own emotions of this grief, this fear, this pain, and all that, right? But the moment someone else, for example, me, I raise my voice, I want to speak of something, everybody is kind of feeling so attacked, like, oh my God, you're supporting. And it has nothing to do with support. We need to figure things out. We need to figure this puzzle out. We don't know everything. The more you know, the more you're going to realize you don't know anything, right? So here, education system and TV or media, it's crazy. 25 years ago, Taliban was fighting against TV and education, but they used the term haram.
Yep.
So this manipulation went around, but they were not against education. They're not against education. There is an indoctrination, and then there is education. My
Exactly.
father was
Beautiful.
not a talib. My father was not someone, he would just wear suit, clean up, shave up, and all that. But when we had our school never got registered because my father did not accept the books and the rules that Afghan embassy wanted him to accept in order to register our school. He knew these books are indoctrination. It's not education.
And which year was that?
It was 1995.
Oh, yeah.
94,
Okay.
95. So we had our school till 2003, even till 2004, no registration. He kept going.
Wow.
And we
Okay,
found, sorry.
so your father actually was the principal of the school?
Yes, that was our own school.
Beautiful.
And
Beautiful.
until 2003, we had graduations, and everybody is like, Omar Saib, what's going to happen? Your school is not even registered. What we going to end up? And he'll be like, don't worry, I'll figure it out.
Nice.
So,
Beautiful.
so we had it, we kept going, and now I know, you know, when I was young, I didn't know these stuff, right? Now, the more I know, the more I'm like, oh my God, he knew.
Yeah, exactly.
He fought.
Yeah.
And then the same thing happened 25 years ago in Afghanistan. Right now, what's happening in Afghanistan? If I was the leader there, the first thing I would have to do, close down the schools, rip off all the books, and hire new intelligence, hire new generation, write some good books based on any subject. We have engineers, we have psychologists, we have doctors, and you know, in foreign countries, we could use them. We all can get together and go build that country because it's bad. Those books are bad.
So when we're talking about these books, and as you said, we could hire our new generation of the academics to write us new books. Don't you think this is again the same cycle, because they're educated outside and the education outside is impacted by the powers within to control minds? Would they not bring them back and write us the same books?
Well, there
but
are
with
people.
New words?
There are people like me and you.
Oh, not me. I'm not at your level. Thank you very much. That's an honor, but thank you. Yeah.
I'm not. I don't call myself nabaga, obviously. But just the fact that I'm aware of this,
exactly,
my help can bring a big impact. And that's what my dad did. You know, my cousin, she's a writer and she's a poet. So he asked her, why don't you write a book? So I can at least use that book till like from first grade till sixth grade. And he did it, and she did it. And he started printing it out, sewing all the books, making all the books ready, all by himself. For like almost 300-400 kids.
Wow, beautiful. Beautiful. What was the difference between the education, or let's just stick to the books, or the curriculum of the schools in 95 and comparing to the school that you were at? So what was the, like a very, very obvious difference?
One of the main obvious difference was fear. A lot of the books that I went, especially when I moved to Peshawar, a lot of the books were more like projecting and bombarding fear of God, especially.
Oh, okay.
God is something. It's it's a spiritual side of you, your faith, right? But imagine you're being bombarded as a fear instead of love.
Yep.
So the focus was really into fear, hell and heaven. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do that, the whole time. So in our school, my dad's focus were more into art, more into poetry. On Fridays, we had every Friday, we would just recite poetry, you know, Shir Jangi. We would create art, we would bring art, we would sing. So the system was completely different in our school. Till this day, I get those students when they find me and all that. Oh my God, they're like, we never gone through a school like that again. We miss Somerset.
Of course. Well. I hope your parents are alive and well, and
My dad passed away. Allah Bashir.
oh, I'm sorry,
Thank you. But
in
my
a long way, in a lot
mom's with us.
of
Thank you.
Rajoon. I wish good health and long life for your mom,
Thank you.
and I do hope that all those students who were involved and who did learn something worth learning from your father
Thank
and
you.
you will go ahead and do bigger things, which is very well needed at this time. So let's jump into some very quick things. You have been very vocal about being a woke, this whole woke culture, maybe not as in like a first world country woke, but in a general sense, spiritually woke, right?
Yeah.
So vividly, we can see that you have been talking about the system of the matrix, maybe as a metaphor, the red pill and the blue pill, who wants to choose the reality and who wants to live in the illusion.
Yeah.
Maybe there's an elite group of people who
Mm-hmm.
wants to control the whole world and the masses and this and that. Are we really talking about the conspiracies which is out there in today's world, which is more to do with, let's just, for example, say the Freemasons or the
Yeah.
Skull and Bone or the 1% or the Cabal? You
Yeah.
can name them however you want, right? But you took us back very quickly to Egypt, right? Egypt. Now there are cultures with this ancient history and ancient knowledge, these old civilizations from Egypt to Syria to India to the Mayans and to South America and even North Americans. All these things, are we talking about these things, or there's more in play? Is there something that you have found out through this, or is it the same topics that we're actually need to look at?
Yeah.
All the liberals.
First of all, I wanted to share so much things. I would love to share so many things, but I noticed, like, especially my community, coming from Afghanistan and Afghan community, I think I need to first bring awareness on, hey, you've been asleep, wake up. Once you realize, Da Vinci said something really nice. He said there's three kinds of people. There's one who sees, and there's one that will see if you show them, and there's one that they will never see. So for my culture, my community, my Afghans, I want to make them realize, to question see both sides of the coin. Even though I understand with all the hate that's going towards Taliban, which is actually so bad for your own mental health, right? It will be nice to at least understand that there was two groups fighting. Try to look into both sides. Try to understand. Otherwise, that hate you have that have been injected in you through media constantly, especially for the last 20 years, it's going to kill you slowly, silently, inside of you. So all these games of war, all these things we see, it's all a psychological war to keep our vibration, our energy, our frequency low. So my people are basically in the second dimension, living in a second dimension. What is dimension? Dimension, I'm sure like a lot of my people, they're Muslim, right? There's a mention of seven sky, half to one ha. What is that half? Seven sky, seven dimension. So this war is going to be continued forever. Unless you don't open your eyes, you don't educate yourself that who is the real enemy here. The war is not just in Afghanistan. It's in every country. Every single country. Taliban are not in every country. Taliban are not in America, So they need to look into this. They need to first become aware to this. Then we're going to talk about all the subjects you just mentioned, the names you just mentioned. It's like a far away distance.
Exactly. When we talk about, as you said, the seven dimensions, right? Because I have I try to look into it. I try to do my work on these different dimensions. I only got to the fourth one, right? The space-time. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you go until, I think, scientifically proved 11 dimensions. I tried to look into it. It's too much for my mind, right? It was too much. But spiritually, right? So if we can bring this whole trauma, I should say, back home, only home, right? So when we talk about the new regime, right, and we want to look at the behind the scenes, what is actually the main cause, right? What is the big game here, right? Now, for most people, it might be a bit harder to even get to that point, to step over the wall and look to the other side because of the troubles and problems that they're facing right now, right? So let's just imagine for women, right? For women. Now, the women who lost their jobs and they don't have jobs anymore and they're the sole providers for their family, right? Now, if I go and tell them, you know what, you need to look at it from an outside view, you know, go to the fourth dimension, right? Where you can see all these three others laid in front of you and you can look at what's the game being played. But for them not providing to their family, that wouldn't really make any difference for them. You know, so what do you think? How do we tell these people to look outside? How to forget perhaps maybe your needs and pain and very immediate pains at the moment and look out? Maybe that will help you. Would that help them?
I think right now, Afghanistan, it has been only like a month and a half, right? That this new regime just took over. It's like our country's in fire and people are creating more tiny little fires here and there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So there's no work, even if they want to work. There's no work right now. Because right now, it's still the bugs of old corruptions are still there. Trust me, I had a friend, he reached out to me. He's like, oh my God, where did you get these videos and all that? Can you please give me some of it? Can you share it to me? Because I want to make money. Because all these big medias, they're looking for videos to broadcast and they're giving good money. So I was really devastated when I heard that. And I'm like, oh, so right now in Afghanistan, there's still war within Afghanistan.
Yes.
And women can become the victim of those manipulation.
Of course.
Okay.
The first one.
Okay. So for example, if one right now just go to work, right? There's no such work right now. Nothing established yet. So if they go to work, what if somebody will do something? They become a victim of rape. They will become a victim of acid, anything. So they will use the video and turn against the new regime. So there's no such thing as security right now. The only thing that will help them for them to look outside of the box, at least they'll have a silent moment, at least a little bit of calmness and peace in their heart. Like, you know what? Sabr.
Exactly.
Have patience. Let's have patience. The country is already in fire. Let's not create more fires, tiny, because it's not going to help. It's not going to help. Or no matter how much we protest here, so no country can recognize Taliban. Trust me, no one will recognize them. Only free countries. Only a free man. So let's just pause a minute and think, what can we help? What can we help? So we can, you know, we need to calm down the fire a little bit. What can we do? You know, there's rights, man right, children right, animal right, every right has to be. But right now, it's in fire. You know, we need to build the doors, we need to build the windows, we need to make sure everything is ready for our women to go out there and ask for the right. Just like you go buy a house, your kid's gonna fight, you know, but once the house is all, you know, furnished, everything is good to go, then you're gonna say, hey, that's your room, that's your right, that's your room, and that's your right.
Do you agree that have you looked into this and this is not a conspiracy, this is actually a real, very well established strategy, right? Done by the Soviet Union in the early 50s, or maybe even way back than that. right? And every powerful nation, they have their own strategies, right?
Exactly.
How to plan and how to create structures
Mm-hmm.
in order to control their population, and
Mm-hmm.
that could impact the others as well. So there's something called, which has been publicly out there by this ex-KGB agent in the 60s and early 70s, and he exposed this, and this is a very tiny work of the bigger picture, right? It's called active measures.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's called active measures and subversion. Okay, now he lays out this whole plan beautifully. It's in 5 parts. That it takes 60 years in order to brainwash or program a generation, not just one person, a generation, to
Exactly.
program them. Okay, now obviously he uses the media, he uses the art and popular culture, he uses your own religion, blah blah blah.
Education, yeah.
Of course. So the whole system is actually rigged. You know, every country can rig that. But how do we let a person who has an empty stomach or who is more in danger, the very immediate instance, you know, in danger, be it the acid on their face, right? Or empty stomach, you know, how do we reach out to them and tell them to sabr? Because I think for a bigger picture, the sabr is the portion, you know, the anti-venom, of course, to let it wait, to establish a system, and then we can work on the details. I have been very vocal about this, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you or me or some sort of T-ban apologists, you know, I don't see you as that sort of individual. I don't see
Mm-mm.
myself as that. But for us, I think we're more awake of what has happened that wasn't right. The government was corrupt for the past 30 years,
It's
okay, or whatever.
more than that.
And now this one at least can get rid of those stuff. So thank you very much. Let it be there. Let them work. Let them come up with a structure so it's more safe for people.
Mm-hmm.
And those who say that peace and safety isn't the first or important thing, I call bullshit on that, because peace and stability is the first thing.
First step.
Starting from your own family to your own country or region, whatever. But still, there is a paradox here. How do we tell the empty stomachs or the person who is in immediate danger to sabr?
I think from our point of view, living outside abroad, this guy Hamoina Afghan, and then there's this girl now. She also goes around and interview. It's actually a really good show. They're just broadcasting people's voice, you know. We can hear them out. Honestly, it's nothing like what these medias are using, especially those very bad videos against women, or the girls are trying to. I heard from some of my fans that they were in Afghanistan. They just left there in Dubai. One of my friends, he's in Dubai, and he reached out to me and he said, honestly, it's not the same as the media is bombarding.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah, I've heard that.
also, remember, there is a hand of power here.
Of
So
course.
these people that they're protesting, a lot of, especially girls or the family, you know, they have been promised for giving them US visa or green card or Europe, whatever. So see, like, they're being used.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So the only way we can reach out to those that are hungry, first, let's have an open mind to actually know what's going on there. And secondly, I can just get out, take some $100, $200, $500 from my pocket and then send it to them. Or send it to someone. At least $500 will bring lots of bread. Right? And you can give it to family, five piece of like non bread or bread for every family. Hunger can be taken care of. Honestly, even why you have to fast. Fasting is so good for your system, right? People can fast 24 hours, 80 hours with no food. It's a fact. You can be alive, and it's actually good for your whole system, for your cells, for everything will be completely recharged. But I don't want a girl to be the victim of rape.
Of course. Yeah.
And her life is done completely. or asset,
Well said.
her life is done completely. Then what are you
Yeah.
going to do?
Right.
So we need to think logically, very logical. Emotions, I understand. And I'm so sorry. I feel I'm an Afghan myself. So we all go through the same thing, right? Emotion. But we need to put that aside so we don't repeat the history again.
Of course. Yeah.
And
So are we trying to say that because looking at the present regime, their promises of a stable security in Afghanistan throughout, right? That's what they're trying to achieve in order for the women to go out and work or study, right?
They will.
Yes. Yeah. And looking at a very first example is that for us to provide separate structures for women to study, right? That's a very first example that they're actually using this that we need to establish. So women's schools have always been separate, you know. Now this is my illiterate opinion, right? Unbiased. When you have separate schools for women, when you have women out of work, well educated from the ministries, can't we put those women for time being to be the teachers for those schools? And of course, it's all girls' schools anyways. You know? So for the time being, isn't that a good movement or initiative to show that, hey, you know what? We are doing what we promised. For the time being, this is as much as we can do. And slowly, we will progress. You know, but to just make an example, to start with, I think this could have been very easy, you know, like being afraid of the repercussions, like Hekmatyar, the Rocketeer.
Yeah.
He was a 16-year-old kid on a bicycle and he used to splash acid on women.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, if we get scared of such repercussions, you know, I think that theory goes out of the window because these are the people who were trying to commit that back in 40 years ago. You know, these are their kids or their students or whoever, right?
Yeah.
Now, but if they are in the government, they have the power. They have made the guidelines for people what to wear, how to dress, and this, all of that. So I think we should be not concerned about, let's just say, rape or acid droppings. Because when you take charge of security, you have to provide it regardless. You know, you cannot say that we're just doing something so the women don't get harassed or raped. You know, you have the security now. It's on you how you do it. You know, I can't. I have a 1-year-old daughter, right? Now I can't keep my daughter in my arms 24/7 for her not to fall and hurt her head.
What you're saying, yeah.
You know,
well, here's my point of view on that. Like, who I mean by doing such things, you know, is like those old corruption bucks that they still want to get into Afghanistan. They still want to rule. They'll do anything with power. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about women and children. They all care about power. And they're going down. They're in a bad shape. They are in a horrible shape and they will do anything. So I don't agree with Taliban's, let's just say, how women should dress up. Oh my God, these are the last thing. Come on. But I don't blame them. You know why? They are the fighters. They lived in caves. They don't know social stuff much. Who needs to bring all that is us, the people. If we wake up our eyes to the truth, to who's really the enemy or what's going on. Otherwise, we'll be in fear. We'll start hating them. Life will be miserable for every single one. There, outside, everyone. So we need to, like every country, they have their fighter force, right? And they have their education force and da-da-da. Our country right now is just Taliban. I mean, we have to accept now that they took over. What can we do next? What can we do next? How can we, they're fighters, they lived in caves. All they know, the enemy, and they fought. They don't know nothing else. They don't know, honestly, there should be women taking care and being in charge of you know, when it comes to women, how they should dress up, this and that, the medication, and then because they don't know anything about women.
Yep.
Woman is the biggest part of the society. I'm all about
Exactly.
women's right. Look at me. I fought for me
Of
as a woman.
course.
But you would never be able to fight for yourself as a woman or for your woman if you don't know the truth, because you're just the victim of manipulation, lies, deceptions, and it's going to make it harder and harder and harder. And guess what? This will happen again. Another regime will come, take over, and rule, and then leave us behind.
And we do agree on, like, a lot of things that we do agree on is that control and manipulation can work both ways, right?
Both ways.
I mean, so the both parties have to set themselves free. Both parties have to look inwards spiritually
Exactly.
to see what the reality is. And it could take some time for the new regime as well to look inside them and to find them.
Okay, so right now, even in Afghanistan, in the past 20 years, they're in the age of Instagram. So imagine how much they have been brainwashed, how much they have been feeded up by false informations and hate and fear. So I think it's going to take 2 generations to build our country again.
Yeah.
Because first we need to get rid of all these deceptions. That's a lot of work. Otherwise, this is all I see. A lot of people ask me like, oh my God, so why you never went to Afghanistan? Why did you go back or live and all that? Because I knew what's going to come. Because I knew what's going on. Why should have I went to Afghanistan to create something, to build something, to work really hard and end up like what happened a month ago? Why? Because it's a circle of fighting, and it's not only 40 years. It started since Amanullah Khan.
Oh, yes.
He's the one who opened the door for all this corruption. Sadly, people to this day, they celebrate Independence Day, but we've never been independent. See, these are very... I see what's happening in Afghanistan right now. Like, they want to like bash me off or fight with me and all that. So there's a group of Pashtun that just supports Taliban, right? Because they're Pashtun, nothing else. Even if they're good or even if they're bad, doesn't matter. There is a group of people that are Tajik. They want Ahmad Massoud. They don't care. They think Ahmad Massoud, right? And then there's a group of people that have been the victim of 20 years manipulation. They hate Taliban with hardcore. And then there's tiny little group like me or people like me that we just question. I don't support no one. I'm just...
Beautifully said.
I'm just trying to make sense and put the puzzles, tiny puzzles together and see the picture. So this is a part of it. And when I raise my voice, when I say, oh, there's 2 kinds of Taliban, by the way, Pakistani and Afghan. People are, okay? So I was mainly speaking of Mullah Omar Taliban are Afghans. They're not Pakistani and all that. They're Afghans.
Exactly.
But they're all like people like, because they're trained that way. They got triggered. They got other fight. Not like, excuse me, Meena, may I know why you said that? That's a mentality a majority don't have it.
Of course.
So it's lots of work for us generation to go build that country now. First, it's us. Forget everything in the world. Me, you. Drop by drop creates the ocean.
That's it. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. So, look, the time just flew past.
Yeah, it was great.
Because this was so interesting and beautiful. And hopefully we will do it again, because there's a lot that we couldn't really speak about and talk about, and a lot that we can learn from you.
Yes.
Hopefully in a very near future, you will honor us with more of your time to tell us more about your research and understanding. I'm going to quickly click here. We've got some questions, I think. I'm just going to scroll through it and see about should dress. Okay, so from one of our friends, Afghan broadcast, the mob, speaking about how women should dress. Wasn't a year there was a professor of Islamic, it wasn't a fatwa. Okay, let's see. Thank you very much. Makeup a lot or make girls use makeup a lot or makeup. Okay, that's or breakup.
I
Okay.
don't even see the comments.
Yeah, there were no comments. There was some only questions about how the women or the women's dressing, and they want us to save this. So I think we can address all this. Obviously, maybe we have been able to address those, or we will do it in the future. Or actually,
But
obviously, when I
would love to say something on this. I live in US. People here, they dress up, you know, as you see how they dress up. It's all open and all that, but that doesn't mean they're free. Women are being used in Western culture badly. In every industry, in every media you see, they're like a sex slaves. And that's not, they have right. That doesn't mean they have right. Companies make billions, trillions of money on the advertising that they use women as a sex slave. That's not freedom. So again, freedom is not about how you dress up. It's more of here and how aware you are and how much you can protect yourself about not being used. If you live in US or Western societies, there's a lot of huge big issues going on which they don't share, they don't talk about it. Because then Western will look like a crazy world, right? But agenda is to Middle East or Afghanistan or those war-torn countries should look crazy. So the more you know, if you think this is freedom, come learn, understand, know more what's going on with society, what's going on. It's right here in US that there's people are going through this psychological war. Let's think about families. Dysfunctional families creates dysfunctional individuals.
Of course.
We have so many great qualities being from Afghanistan. Even though there was war and all that, we have sense of belonging. We have family attachment. We have families that warm. We say Kaka John, Khala John, Mama John. We laugh, we call. You can't find that stuff this side. It's rare. Even the people who are awake in the United States, they know this. That's why they're fighting right now.
Of course. Okay. I just have to mention that I did get the last comment actually from Afghan broadcast. Yes, I'm sorry. He's trying to say that I was referring to her comments about Taliban and women's dress. That interview wasn't a Taliban, so it was Toulouse edited clip, which sort of manipulated the whole thing. Obviously no doubt there are
that girl right now. There's this girl right now doing an interview going around in the street of Kabul. You guys should see her. She's not wearing any kind of burqa or anything. She's actually wearing beautiful dress up, a scarf, and then she's keep doing interviews. Again, Afghan is something you guys should just. That will give.
I love that dude.
Yeah, me too.
I love that dude. I love that dude. He's real. He's out there. He's trying to show the voice of people, everyday people. He's unbiased. I love that. Of course, I will always support such journalism, which is in its core real journalism.
And he's not dressing up. He's just dressing up as he is. Pants and shirt. Yeah. I think what 5 years ago Taliban did, the only problem they had, they were too extreme. They got in and their intention was to protect the people. Like, you know, the things I'm gonna talk, mind control, a lot of people here, they don't even understand. So they have to use it. So the term haram was used. So it's more easy way to just completely destroy this programming system that they wanted to come and take over Afghanistan.
Because as I would mention at the end of this chat, To all the people who have actually stuck around with us today, thank you very much for your
Thank you.
patience. We're all honored to have Khanem Saifi with us and to share her knowledge and her beautiful opinions with us. Thank you
Thank
very much.
you for having
I,
me.
I can go on for hours. I would love to learn more. I would love to chat more. But the only problem is that if it goes beyond certain time, I cannot upload it because I'm
I
not that
understand.
big on
I understand.
Instagram. So hopefully we'll do it again. Just
Again.
last output. Your last output very quickly for the people of Afghanistan right now, for the people who want to live free, who want to live in peace, who want to do what they want to do, following their own culture, however that is. What would your message be really quick and brief for all those young people especially?
I would say no matter where you live, if you're not free and happy within, you're not going to be happy and free anywhere. You can find heaven even in Afghanistan if heaven is here. And how you can find that? The more you know. The
more you know.
When you move, you hear the chains. That's you're chained, right? If you don't move, this is it.
Of course. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Education and awareness.
Awareness, yep. Try to, there's this model in it. I have to share this. For example, we have data. Data is like what happened, what they're going to tell you. So don't be stuck in the data. Try to study more, get informations. And the more you have information, then you're going to go to the third step, which is going to be knowledge. Knowledge is to connect the dots. And when you connect the dots, then there's going to be a next level, which is wisdom. So having PhD or bachelor degree and all that, that does not mean that's knowledge. Don't confuse yourself with that. Knowledge and education is a completely different thing. But thanks again for having me. Thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your love.
I'm honored. Thank you very much. And those of our friends who couldn't get their questions across or couldn't get their answers, they can always comment because I'm gonna upload this on our account. And the questions which has been directed to whoever, Meena, John, or myself, we will answer it personally, hopefully. And my last takes for today would be to think about things unbiased. You know, to learn about your history, to learn about the world history. That will teach us what is happening presently and what we can do in the future. Because the anti-venom of the venom lies in itself. The plan has been laid for centuries, and you can only decode it by learning about it and to come up creatively how to fight it. So have patience, learn, try to look into yourself, try to look into the freedom of your spirit and your soul and your mental freedom. Try to connect with yourself and try to be, again, unbiased, be creative. Thank you very much.
Thank
Meena,
you.
John, it was an honor. Hope to see you again. Lots of love to your family and friends.
Thank you. Same here. Thank you
very much.
Take care. Shabbat khosh, rozat khosh.
Thank you very much. This is Voices from the Mountains, out for today.